Psychology reveals women who want to sleep. With you will greet you like this, not what you expect. Have you ever wondered why some conversations feel electric while others fall completely flat? What if I told you that psychology has identified specific greeting patterns that reveal genuine romantic interest, and they're probably nothing like what you'd expect? We're going to dive deep into the fascinating world of attraction psychology, exploring how the human brain processes romantic interest through the subtle art of first impressions. Stick around because what you learn today might completely change how you interpret social interactions. But first, if you love psychology and human behavior content, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. It really helps the channel grow. Before we jump into the specific behaviors, let's establish some important context. The study of attraction psychology is incredibly complex, involving neuroscience, evolutionary psychology, and social dynamics. What we're discussing today isn't about manipulation or tricks. It's about understanding genuine human connection. Real attraction involves mutual respect, authentic interest, and emotional intelligence. According to research published in the Journal of Social Psychology, first impressions are formed within the first 100 milliseconds of meeting someone. But here's the fascinating part. The greeting behaviors that indicate romantic interest often contradict popular assumptions. Dr. Helen Fisher, anthropologist and relationship expert, has spent decades studying the neuroscience of attraction. Her research shows that genuine romantic interest triggers specific neurological responses that manifest in predictable behavioral patterns. Today we'll cover the neuroscience behind attraction signals, 7 unexpected greeting behaviors that indicate interest, the difference between genuine interest and politeness, common misinterpretations and red flags, how to respond appropriately and respectfully. Let's start with the science. Segment 1. The neuroscience of attraction. When someone experiences romantic attraction, their brain undergoes fascinating changes. The limbic system, our emotional processing center, becomes highly active, releasing dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. As Dr. Fisher explains, romantic attraction is characterized by intrusive thinking, emotional dependency, and intense craving for emotional union with a specific person. This neurochemical cocktail creates observable behaviors, especially during initial interactions. But here's where it gets counterintuitive. These behaviors often oppose what we might expect. A 2019 study from the University of Rochester analyzed over 1,000 initial romantic interactions. The researchers found that individuals experiencing genuine attraction displayed more subdued, thoughtful greeting behaviors compared to casual social interactions. Why? Because when we're genuinely interested in someone, our nervous system activates differently. We become more self-aware, more careful with our words, and paradoxically, more restrained in our initial approach. This leads us to our first unexpected behavior pattern, Segment 2, the 7 unexpected greeting behaviors. Let's explore the 7 greeting behaviors that psychology research has identified as indicators of genuine romantic interest. Remember, these are patterns, not rules. Human behavior is complex and individual. 1. The delayed response greeting. Contrary to popular belief, someone attracted to you might not immediately rush over with an enthusiastic greeting. Instead, they often exhibit what researchers call approach avoidance behavior. They'll notice you, make brief eye contact, then seem to hesitate or engage in another activity before eventually approaching. This isn't disinterest. It's their nervous system processing the significance of the interaction. Dr. Amy Cuddy's research on power posing reveals that when we feel vulnerable or excited, we often need a moment to regulate our emotions and confidence levels before engaging. 2. The quiet intensity greeting. When genuinely attracted, people often speak more quietly and deliberately during greetings. This creates an intimate bubble around the conversation, even in crowded spaces. The tone becomes warmer but more controlled. They're not trying to impress with volume or energy. They're creating connection through presence and attention. Linguistic analysis shows that romantic interest correlates with decreased vocal volume but increased vocal variety, and softer consonants. 3. The authentic smile differential. Here's a crucial distinction: genuine. Attraction produces what psychologists call a Duchenne smile. It engages the entire face, including the eyes, creating those characteristic crinkles. But interestingly, this smile often appears more gradually and lasts longer than social politeness smiles. It's not the immediate bright flash we might expect, but a more subtle building warmth. This triggers mirror neurons in both people, creating subconscious emotional synchronization. 4. The focused attention phenomenon. When someone is genuinely attracted, their greeting behavior demonstrates what researchers call attentional narrowing. They become notably focused on you, almost as if the surrounding environment fades. They'll maintain eye contact longer than socially necessary, but not in an aggressive way, more like they're genuinely fascinated by what you're saying, even if it's just small talk. This occurs because dopamine enhances focus and attention toward the source of attraction. 5. The nervous energy displacement. Genuine attraction often creates nervous energy that needs expression. During greetings, this manifests as subtle fidgeting, adjusting clothing, touching hair, or slight hand movements. Importantly, this isn't dramatic gesturing. It's small, almost unconscious, self-soothing behaviors that indicate emotional activation. These behaviors stem from our evolutionary past when attraction triggered fight-or-flight responses, requiring energy displacement. 6. The conversational extension pattern. Someone attracted to you will often extend the greeting interaction beyond normal social requirements. Instead of the typical greeting exchange, they'll introduce follow-up questions or observations. How are you? Becomes, how are you? Did you have a good weekend? You look like you've been getting some sun. They're searching for reasons to continue the interaction. 7. The proximity adjustment. During the greeting, they'll gradually move slightly closer than typical social distance, but do so naturally and respectfully. They're drawn into your personal space while remaining appropriate. Edward Hall's research on proxemics shows that romantic interest correlates with reducing interpersonal distance to approximately 1.52 feet during conversation. Now, recognizing these patterns is only part of the equation. Let's discuss how to distinguish between genuine interest and simple politeness. Genuine romantic interest indicators. Romantic interest demonstrates behavioral changes specific to interactions with you. Personalized conversation beyond standard scripts. Gradual physical proximity increases. Focused attention despite distractions. Reluctance to end interactions. The key difference is specificity. Romantic interest behaviors change when interacting with you specifically, while polite friendliness remains consistent across interactions. The respect principle. Regardless of what signals you perceive, respectful behavior is paramount. This means never assuming interest gives you permission for inappropriate behavior. Recognizing that interest can change. Understanding that professional or social contexts may require maintained boundaries. Accepting no gracefully if you misinterpret signals. Attraction is about mutual interest and respect, never about one person's interpretation overriding another's comfort or explicit communication. Segment 4. Common misinterpretations and red flags. Let's address some dangerous misinterpretations that can lead to uncomfortable or harmful situations. Misreading professional kindness. Service industry workers, healthcare professionals, and colleagues are often required to be warm and engaging. This is professional behavior, not personal interest. Red flag thinking. The barista smiled and asked how my day was. She must be interested. Reality check. She's providing good customer service. Cultural and personality differences. Different cultures have varying norms for eye contact, physical proximity, and conversational styles. What might seem like romantic interest could simply be cultural communication patterns. Additionally, extroverted personalities naturally engage more warmly with everyone, while introverted individuals might seem more intense, simply due to their selective social engagement. The confirmation bias trap. Perhaps most dangerously when we want someone to be interested in us. We can interpret neutral or even negative signals as positive ones. Studies show that individuals experiencing unrequited attraction are significantly more likely to misinterpret ambiguous social cues as reciprocal interest. Seek objective second opinions from trusted friends. Pay attention to explicit verbal communication, not just nonverbal cues. Consider alternative explanations for behaviors. Respect any signs of discomfort or withdrawal. So how should you respond when you genuinely believe someone is interested? Let's discuss appropriate responses. Segment 5. Appropriate responses and next steps. Understanding potential interest is only valuable if you know how to respond appropriately and authentically. If you're interested too, mirror their energy level. If they're being subtle and thoughtful, respond similarly rather than becoming overly enthusiastic. Engage authentically. Ask genuine questions about their interests and share appropriately about yourself. Respect their pace. Don't rush physical or emotional intimacy. Let connection develop naturally. Communicate clearly. Use clear, respectful language about your interest rather than relying solely on implied signals. Instead of just hoping they'll interpret your signals, try, "I've really enjoyed talking with you. Would you like to continue this conversation over coffee sometime?" If you're not interested, be kind but clear. Acknowledge their interest respectfully while establishing boundaries. Don't lead them on. Avoid behaviors that might be misinterpreted as reciprocal interest. Maintain appropriate boundaries. Keep interactions friendly but not intimate. I appreciate the conversation, but I want to be clear that I see this as a friendly interaction. Remember, being honest about your lack of romantic interest is kinder than giving false hope. Let's recap the key insights from today's deep dive into attraction psychology. Genuine romantic interest often manifests in subtle, unexpected ways. True attraction creates nervous system responses that appear as restraint and focus. The difference between politeness and interest lies in behavioral specificity. Respectful interpretation and response are crucial regardless of perceived signals. Clear communication trumps signal interpretation every time. The most important takeaway? Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, clear communication, and genuine connection, not on decoding secret signals or applying psychological techniques. What's your experience with these greeting behaviors? Have you noticed these patterns in your own interactions? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments below. I read every single one and often feature interesting perspectives in future videos. If this psychological exploration was valuable to you, subscribe for more evidence-based content on human behavior and relationships. Hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest insights. Check out our previous video on the psychology of long-term attraction and next week's upcoming episode on reading emotional intelligence in social interactions. Remember, the goal isn't to become a master manipulator of human behavior, but to develop emotional intelligence, empathy, and genuine connection skills that serve you and others well throughout life. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.